Welcome to another edition of the ISB podcast. I'm your host, Sahil, here with Rahi. A little bit of a different look. We're switching things up here. Rahi's joining me for the Copa America quarterfinal first match day between Argentina and Ecuador. And Rahi, this was an exciting one.
It was. I'm joining you because I don't know if Roy survived that game. I'm not sure if he was able to pull through. He must have been a roller coaster of emotions for him. But in the end, Argentina does what they do. Dibu does what he does, comes up with big saves in penalty shootouts, and somehow, man, this team likes to make it interesting, don't they?
It was a fascinating match as a whole because there were so many ups and downs, I feel like, for both teams. Obviously, Argentina started it off. They got the goal of someone who doesn't actually score that many goals, Lisandro Martinez. And then
Never
you thought,
scored a goal.
okay,
First international goal.
first international goal for Argentina. And then you think, okay, things are smooth. And then, of course, the first Enter Valencia penalty to Ecuador, he misses, and you thought, okay, that was the one chance they got. But then, what an ending by Ecuador.
Yeah, incredible ending it, and it's funny because they looked so comfortable for Argentina for long periods of the second half. And they have that moment where they give up the penalty, which was a penalty, by the way, a clear penalty. And then the miss. And then again, very comfortable for most of the match. But they have this penchant for collapsing late. This is the
Yeah.
third time we've seen really a game that was completely in their hands. You look at Netherlands in the World Cup, France in the World Cup. This game now where very comfortable and they give up a late goal really off nothing.
Yeah.
I know in the end they survive, but Scaloni has to be worried about this continuing pattern. It didn't need to be this difficult for Argentina. It was all in the bag.
And the other thing is, after Ecuador got the goal, then, Jordy Caicedo is going to want this back because right after Ecuador scored, it was a gilt edge chance to win the match right there. And he really should have won it, to be
Oh
honest.
man. Oh man, you should have won it. That was I mean, Argentina was shocked by the equalizer and looked like they were going to give up another goal. There was almost a penalty. McAllister almost clipping Mena there. And then Caicedo, the Atlas man himself, I don't quite know what he was doing with the header, what his intention was. He makes a great run, gets on the end of the cross, and then he gets it all wrong. But that was the moment. That was the game right there. That was Ecuador in a colossal upset. I mean, that would have been a massive upset for them to make the semis. But in the end, once they got the penalties, you just had a feeling. Even after Messi misses the first penalty, you just had a feeling because Dibu is just so good in these penalty shootouts.
Yeah, the thing for Ecuadorian fans, I mean, that they had the match won right there. And you're right. I think this is something before we get to the penalties. It's something that I think we're seeing a trend where, there's these moments where Argentina basically is very vulnerable. It happened in the Saudi Arabia match, happened in the Netherlands match, happened in the France match, where you look at all the goals that they allow come very close to each other. So there's these
Yeah.
moments where the other team gains a little bit of momentum, and then that's the time when Argentina is very vulnerable. And that happened in this match as well with, Caicedo missing a chance to get two back to back for Ecuador and win the match.
Yeah, I think it's worrisome. I mean, they're fine. They're fine because Dubu does what he does, and they've been fantastic in penalty shootouts. He's been incredible. But you have to worry a little bit if you're Argentina because it's not as if these are games where they're not in control. They're in complete control. And to give up these late goals over and over again is worrisome because you're going from a position that's very comfortable to an incredibly nervous, gut wrenching situation that put Roy out of commission for tonight's episode. But that's unnecessary. It's unnecessary because of the control they have for most of the game. So I'm a little confused as to why it happens.
Yeah, and I think it's something that, we've seen this trend, and sooner or later with penalties, their luck is going to run out. It hasn't so far because going into the penalty shootout, we both felt, okay, Argentina is going to win, and then of course Thibaut Martinez does what he does. But I think where Ecuador kind of lost it a little bit was after Messi misses the first penalty, that's a moment to grab momentum, and then by missing the next penalty, Ecuador, that just puts you behind the eight ball again.
Yeah, and you have to say that the Argentinians all took wonderful penalties. I mean, they're all incredible penalties. Uh, I mean, and that's the difference, is that the Ecuadorian penalties were all right, and then Dibu made some incredible saves. I mean, the second one in particular was an incredible save. But I do agree that you don't want to keep going into penalties. I know he's incredible. I know that you took great penalties, but why do you have to keep putting yourself in these situations when you were the superior team for most of the game? I thought the midfield really dominated the game, and they limited what Ecuador could do. They limited the influence of a potential new star, the 17-year-old Paez. So I'm a little bit worried if I'm Argentina. I think they survive, certainly, and it's a good day for them, but concern, certainly concern.
Yeah. And I think for Ecuador, it would have been a fantastic,
Remarkable.
famous victory if they had got it done. But for all the Ecuadorian fans, I think there's a little bit to build on. I think the performance, frankly, could have been better from Ecuador, to be frank, but the
Yeah.
result was about to be fantastic. So that's that.
Yeah, I mean, the subs made a difference, right? In the end, it's the subs that came on, your boy, with the cross that makes the difference. I mean, I think Ecuador had their moments. There was an early chance, and then Ener Valencia had the penalty, of course, that he missed. So there were moments in the game, but I don't think they did enough. But in the end, they still could have won it.
Yeah, still could have won. Well, anyway, Argentina continues their quest to repeat as Copa America champions. If you're enjoying these videos, please subscribe to the channel. We'll be back with more Copa America action as we get into tomorrow and the weekend. And let's say it now. Vamos Copa America.
Vamos, Copa America. I mean, the drama you cannot beat. Argentina always makes it exciting. Muchachos.